Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So as you guys can see by the title of this video, this is going to be another book haul. Now I am super excited for this video. I honestly love a good book haul. If you guys haven't been on my channel before and you don't know, I am a massive bookworm. I always have been ever since I was little. I've always loved my books. Back in the day I used to do a whole heap of Lions book sale hauls, which was just basically like a massive book sale that Phil and I would go to when we lived in Hawke's Bay. We'd go with my family. It would take up a whole day. It was a good time. I'm going to be showing you all of the new books that I have bought. So I have this stack here, and then I also have this massive stack here as well to get through. So there is a lot of books for me to show you guys. I do try and shop around, and I do try and thrift and Facebook Marketplace as much as I can, but all of these books here were ones that I have either been struggling to find on Facebook Marketplace or in the op shops, or I just was really excited to buy them because they've been new. So yeah, without further ado, let's jump into this video. Might start off with standalones because I have a mix of standalones and series. So to start off with, we have Icebreaker by Hannah Grace. So I love the cover. I think it is so incredibly cute. I think all of these books, bar one of these series, I got off of Rachel Catherine's recommendations. A lot of these have been popular lately on Booktok as well. Icebreaker basically, I think, is like these two characters here go to the same school. So one of them is a hockey player, the other one is a figure skater, and I think they like really don't like each other, but they are forced to share the same ice rink at their school because another one I think is under construction or something. So it's kind of like a forced proximity, I'm guessing enemies to lovers romance. I'm super duper excited to read this. I love the spine as well, the little purple spine with like the little ice skates. This one I purchased from Whitcoulls and it was $27. Next up we have Bunny. Now this one is by Mona Awad, and I think this one is basically supposed to be really odd. The way that I heard Rachel Catherine talk about this intrigued me to buy it, and it was kind of like the ending is supposed to really like be controversial and you're not really supposed to know fully what's happened. It seems like it takes place at like some sort of like private all-girls high school, I think, and so it's like very like rich people, and I think there's like a group of girls who are in this like little society thing and they all call each other Bunny, and I think this chick wants to like go into the society and see what it's like, but when she gets in there it's not quite what she thought it was. Yeah, it's meant to be like a really like mind screw up of a book, I think. So I'm super excited to read this. My best friend Rachel came over and she read the back of this and she's like, oh, when you read it can you let me know if it's any good, because I might want to read it because it sounds really interesting. This one I bought from an independent bookstore up here in Auckland because I hadn't seen this in Whitcoulls at all or in Paper Plus, which are like the two, I guess, like franchised bookstores. It's not in the warehouse either. This one was $33. So for a paperback here in New Zealand, $33 is really expensive. Obviously Icebreaker was $27. They had already like sold through one batch of them, so they'd opened up a second box and they only had 6 left. The next book that I have is this one here. Now this one is 1,000 Boy Kisses by Tillie. This one I know is meant to make you cry, so we'll see if I cry. I don't tend to cry in books unless the love interest dies. I didn't cry and it ends with us. I thought I would, but I didn't. So yeah, I'm a bit funny with when I cry in books and when I don't, so I'll see if this makes me cry. It just says on the front, what if your love story had ended before it had really begun? So I think like it's kind of like a second chance romance. This couple used to really like each other or date or something when they were younger, and then they like moved away and then like they've come back to the small town or something. So it's just a very like classic romance book. So I'm super excited to read this. I love the cover. This is actually one of my more recent ones that I bought, so I actually purchased this last week. I had to go to 2 different Whitcoulls to get this, and this was the last one left when I went to go and buy it. So I'm happy to have my hands on it. I like that it's a good size, and this one again I bought from Whitcoulls and it was $26. Next up we have this one here. So this one is The Road Trip by Beth Leary. I had been trying to buy this on Marketplace and every time I tried on Marketplace it was always sold out. So I thought, screw it, I'm just gonna buy it brand new. And I'm actually really glad that I did, because this I haven't seen in the bookstores since I bought it, and I also haven't seen it on Marketplace, so it is quite a difficult one to find that I've personally found online. I love the cover, it is super duper cute. Beth Leary writes the Flat Share and the No Show, which I have both of those books but I haven't read them yet. The Flat Share is on my 23 books to read in 2023, so hopefully I can get to that soon. But it kind of gives me like Black Ice vibes, just without the thriller aspect. Addie and her sisters are on an epic road trip to a friend's wedding in rural Scotland, but not long after setting off, a car slams into theirs. The driver is none other than Addie's ex, who she hasn't seen since their traumatic breakup 2 years earlier. Dylan and his best mate are heading to the wedding too, so Addie has no choice but to offer them a ride. I'm just guessing it's going to be like a forced proximity second chance romance. And then the last book that I want to get from her is The Switch, which is down here, but I have not found that cover yet. Alrighty, and then the last standalone that I have is this one here. So this one is Counterfeit by Kristin Chen. So I think basically this chick here is in like the black market of selling like fake designer handbags, and I think her lawyer friend is like sick of her job, wants to do something different, so this chick invites her to come along and like work alongside her in like selling these counterfeit handbags, like designer handbags, to people on the black market. So I thought it would be super duper interesting, very different from anything that I've read. It is classified as a thriller as well, so it seems like quite a short thriller book. I love the cover as well. Alright, so those are all for standalones. Now we have series. I have first 2 books in the Addicted to You / Calloway Sister series. So this series here is written by Krista and Becca Ritchie. There is 10 books in the series, so it is a very, very long series. I have actually read Addicted to You. I put it in a favorites video not long ago, so if you missed that, I'll leave that video down below and I'll put it in the iCard for you guys as well, because I thoroughly enjoyed this. I flew through this. When I wasn't reading this, I was constantly thinking about it and wanting to know what happened next. It basically, as bad as it sounds, it doesn't really have a plot. It's kind of a more like character-based book, and I'm guessing the series is a very like character-based series. So obviously the first book is Addicted to You, second book is Ricochet. I love the cover, I love the colors that they've used. I think they look absolutely stunning. I like that the spines are just plain and simple, so they look really nice on the bookshelf. I don't know what this book is about, other than it's told from the same couple's point of view as this one, so I'll talk about this one a bit more. So this one here follows Lily and Lo. So Lily is addicted to sex and Lo is addicted to alcohol, but they both come from like very, very rich families who would obviously not approve of their lifestyle, so they decide to fake date, keep their families happy, put on the charade, but underneath it all they're covering each other's secrets. I think it's a very, very interesting concept. I do wish this was told from like Lily and Lo's point of view, because you only get Lily's point of view, and I think it would have added so much more if you got to read from Lo's point of view. There are 4 sisters, I think, so Lily is like one of 4 sisters. So I believe, yeah, the first 3 or 4 books I think are with Lily and Lo, and then you get to read from like the other sisters' point of views as well, which is really interesting, because all of the sisters like do something different. Like I think one of them is like a housewife, one of them is like a well-known like fashion designer, and then I can't quite remember what the other one does. And Lily's like in college, because I think she's one of the younger ones, I think. They always have the recommended reading order in the front, because this series is technically 2 series in one. So you have like the Addicted series, and then you also have the Calloway Sister series, but they recommend that you read them together. Really nice palette cleanser as well. I would just be careful going into it if like you struggle with sex or alcohol and that's like a conviction that you have. Haven't read the second book as of right now. I'm trying to read like one new book that I've bought recently, and then one book that I've had on my bookshelf for like over 2 years, and then also like throwing in library books now and then, so I will get to it at some point. But both of these here I bought from Whitcoulls. I took the prices off. I want to say they're around like $25, $26 each. The next series we have, I have the first 2 books, and I really want to get the last book, but we have the first 2 books. I think it's in the Knock 'Em Out series. I will write on the screen if I'm wrong. Again, I've heard Rachel Catherine rave about both of these books, so I really wanted to get them. But these books here are written by Lucy Score. They're just like a second chance romance. I think. So the first book here is Things We Never Got Over. So this one just says on the front, he's absolutely not falling for the good girl. And then this one here is Things We Hide from the Light, which says good guys don't fall for bad girls. I honestly love these covers. I think these are two of the most beautiful covers that I have ever seen. I like that the spines are nice and simple as well. They are quite chunky for like romance books. This one I bought from the warehouse, and I think it was only about $20 from the warehouse, which is pretty good because this one I bought in Whitcoulls and it was $28. So I'm almost done. I have 2 series left. So the next series I have all 3 of the books for. Now I don't know officially what the series is called, but for the point of this video I'm going to call it the Loop trilogy. These are written by Ben Oliver. So I recently got the Loop out from the library, read it, devoured it, loved it. Like I looked up where you could buy it in New Zealand because I haven't seen this in Whitcoulls, and Paper Plus is the only place in New Zealand that I found that stock this trilogy. So obviously it's a trilogy. I went into Paper Plus. This was the last one that they had of the first book, the last one they had of the second book, and then they had 2 of these left. So I just bought the whole trilogy and I'm so excited to read it, or like to carry on the series, because I've obviously read the first book here. I love the covers as well. So the first book is called The Loop, so it just says humanity ends here. The second book is called The Block. Freaking love these covers. I think they're absolutely stunning. And then the third book is called The Ark. So I love that they have like the green, the red, and the blue. This is a YA dystopian series. So basically what happens in this book, so I obviously haven't read this book, they refer to the block in this book, so I'm super excited to like carry on. It follows the story of Luca, who is in prison. He is almost 18 and he's been in prison since he was 12, I think, and he's on death row. So it follows like all of these prisoners who are on death row. They are locked in the cell for like 23 hours a day. 1 hour of the day they get to like go outside, but it's like everyone has like their own little patch of like outside. The cells kind of seem like they're like this, where like there's massive concrete walls in the middle of each of the cells, so you can't actually see anyone else, but you can like hear them and talk to them when you go outside for like this 1 hour a day. Yeah, it's like a very like solitary confinement kind of vibe. And basically this prison tests new technology on all of these prisoners to try and like enhance life and help people outside who are like rich have longer lasting lives. And it's really interesting because they obviously have like the same routine every day, and then one day something goes wrong and Luca, who is like the main character, tries to escape. But there is a book trailer to this, so I will put the book trailer down below. I showed Phil the book trailer and he was like, oh, that actually seems quite interesting. And then I showed my manager and she keeps referring to it and is like, oh, I really want to borrow The Loop from you. I honestly loved it. I read it really quickly. The chapters are like super duper short, so like they have like day so and so in the loop, and like some of the like chapters are just like a page each, so it's really easy to get through. But yeah, honestly freaking loved this. If you loved like the Hunger Games, Divergent, The Maze Runner, you will thoroughly enjoy this. This book here is kind of a cross between The Maze Runner and The Matrix. When I was reading this I was like, yeah, this gives me like Maze Runner vibes. And then yeah, I just wanted to continue the series, so I thought why not just buy all the books in one go. So obviously bought these all from Paper Plus. So this one here was $22, this one was $22, and this one was $22. So $66 for the whole trilogy, and I am excited because I honestly have not heard anyone like talk about these at all. I just picked up the back of the book in the library, read it, thought I'd give it a go, and I didn't realize it was a trilogy when I started, so now I'm in the middle of yet another series. And then the last book that I have for this video is actually again another recent book that I have just purchased last week, and that is The Fine Print. So this here is written by Lauren Asher. I haven't read any of her books before, so I'm excited to see how I go. This is the first book in the Dreamland Billionaire series. So there's 3 books. First one is obviously called The Fine Print, the second is called Terms and Conditions, and then the third book is called The Final Offer. There's 3 brothers in this family, so each of these brothers get their own book, and basically their grandfather dies, and in order to be able to get their inheritance they have to complete like all of these tasks that their grandfather has set. And so I think in this book here the guy designs like I think theme parks or hotels around fairy tales, which is super interesting. And it seems like in all 3 books there's like obviously issues that the main characters deal with, so maybe just double check the trigger warnings, but then it has like aspects of romance as well. So this is actually classified as a contemporary romance trilogy. I love the cover, super duper cute, and this one again I bought from Whitcoulls and it was $28. So there we go guys, those are all of the books that I have purchased recently. I really hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I do plan to do more of these as well because my book collection is ever growing. I'm trying to read like different genres as well. I tend to read either like very YA thriller or like I love dystopian. Any dystopian series I am like, yep, give it to me. I freaking love that stuff, and romance, but I'm also trying to like push out the boat and read fantasy because my husband Phil is also a massive bookworm and his favorite genre is fantasy. If you guys have read any of these books that I have talked about today, let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Please no spoilers unless I have read the book. I love books. If you guys want to see more book videos on my channel, let me know because I would be so keen to do them. Please make sure to like this video, subscribe if you haven't already, turn on the notifications, and check out my social media. It's always linked down below in the description box, and I think that's all. So I shall see you guys in my next video. Bye!